I'm doing well. Thanks, Marc.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
What should I congratulate you about first? Emmy nomination.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So what does that feel like? You know the feeling.
Honestly, I didn't think it was coming my way this year.
Why'd you say that?
Because there are so many great actors giving so many great performances that, going into a fourth season of the show, even though we came out of a great third season, I felt like, oh, you know what? Other actors need to get recognized.
Right.
And so it was a surprise. I was surprised.
So how do you celebrate on set? What do you guys do?
I don't know if there's so much a celebration on set. More there is just, congratulations going around to the group.
Right.
I am 1/10 of Jack. I'm the face of Jack, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But there are the clothes that get put on me. There's the hair and makeup that gets put on me. There are the words coming out of my mouth. There's the crews that are pointing cameras and lighting and gripping and feeding and all of us. So for me, I feel like I'm just a piece of who Jack Pearson is.
Mm-hmm.
And collectively, the group of us, we can all equally congratulate one another for, my nomination or Mandy's nomination or Sterling or the show or anything. It's like we are all a part of it. No one person is completely responsible for it.
Well, it's amazing because the whole show gets nominated too.
Yeah,
so
which is great.
Just individuals. It really is a testament to what you're saying, that it's
it's a group effort.
It takes a village.
Mm-hmm.
It takes
does.
a village. So do you have your acceptance speech written today?
I got a couple thoughts and ideas. I mean, listen, that's the real truth. It's like, I may be standing up on a stage. I may be sitting in an audience. I try not to get too far ahead, but also respectful to the group of people that are assembled there. It's like, go up and know what you're going to say and know what you're going to say in 45 seconds and then move on.
Well, I'm glad you say that because there's a lot of people, when I ask them that, like, I'm not going to win. Well, you're one of, 5 people? Yeah, you can.
Oh, no, and
you
that's the
have
thing.
A good chance.
Yeah, exactly. It's very real. So, I tend to just plan in general. Not plan so much as prepare. Actually, I prepare. I don't plan, I prepare, because plans are always going to change. But if you're prepared for something the moment that it comes, well, then you're always going to be ready. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, there is a chance. Gotta prepare for both sides of it.
So do you have that face when the camera goes on you if you lose?
Oh, God, I have no clue. That's nothing you can plan or prepare for. You just,
Smile.
Yeah, just smile. Be happy. I mean, the good news is we're all there in celebration, and hopefully we can shine a light on the work that we're all doing and not diminish the great work of others that aren't in that audience wearing those dresses and tuxedos and all of that. Because, filmmaking, TV making, it's difficult. It's hard. It's hard to get something made. So when you get something on the air, no matter what the level of someone celebrating or damning it, it's like, it's really hard.
Right.
So I kind of celebrate all of it.
So Jason Bateman sent you a little gift? Tell me about that.
Well, last year he'd sent something, and then this year, he'd sent over a box of nice wines and some bars of chocolate, and I put the nice wines up on the shelf for people that come to my house. And then I tore into the chocolate, and I was like, this is delicious. So, but it's cool. I've never met him.
Really?
But I've been a fan of him since I was a kid. You know, everybody's a fan of Jason Bateman.
And he's sending you wine and chocolates.
Yeah. It's like, how'd he get my address?
So I'm gonna put you on the spot. What'd you send in return?
I tweeted at him. You're a gentleman and a goddamn sweetheart.
Okay, let's talk about your art of racing in the rain. Sure. Did you read the book first? How did it all come about?
I didn't. So I got the script first, and my reps were like, hey, look, if you respond to this and you respond to this tonight, like, we're going to make a really hard push, because I think there were a lot of other actors that have been trying to land this role. Mm-hmm. And so I read it. I loved it. I said to my crew, I'm like, go get it. And the next day, they got it. It was just, Marc Bomback is such a talented writer. And then I went the other direction, and I read Garth Stein's book, and I was like, well, of course, a great screenwriter can take a great novel and come up with a great script. So, and then as everything was assembled, Simon Curtis directing and Amanda Seyfried coming to play my wife, and Kevin Costner being the voice. And so it just felt like one of those things that it's like leaves falling on the ground. They're all just kind of like gently landing in place to create something beautiful. And that's what it felt like. The whole filming of it felt like that. It felt like magic was just kind of happening.
Wow.
And we weren't forcing it, and we weren't overworking it. It was just happening on all levels, with the camera, with everything. And if people are enjoying the movie, it's because we loved making it. We really, truly, truly loved making it.
So tell me about Denny, and tell me about the story.
So Denny is a race car driver, and the film is about Denny, this race car driver, who has this dog. And the film takes place over the course of the dog's life, from puppy until he's old. And the film is narrated by the dog as he watches Denny go through auto racing, meeting a woman, falling in love, having a family, the ups and downs of life, the realities of life. But Enzo, his dog, has this elevated point of view. Enzo wants so desperately to be a human, but he understands that he's a dog. So what he's pretty much trying to do is soak up as much of humanity from this man and this family as he can. So in his next life, when he is a human being, he can apply everything and be the best human being he can.
So what was harder, racing the cars or working with a dog?
Racing the cars, because I was in a parking lot not going anywhere. 0 miles, 0.0.
They didn't let you do anything.
No, man. It's like playing a heroin addict, but you don't push the drug. It's like, no, they're not going to let me on a racetrack. No way.
I did once.
That's awesome.
I did a story on NASCAR.
You did?
And I went in a pace car.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So first they drove me around and, scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, you could drive.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I'm like, how fast can I go? They're like, you probably go up to like 120.
Okay.
But I'm going 120 on like the inside of the track. They're like, you could get up
go
a little
all
bit.
the
I'm
way
like,
up. Let
no way.
Yeah.
I was too scared.
Yeah. You get into some like Einstein stuff. Equals MC squared. Yeah.
And I kept, like, every time I would take the bend, I'd go to put on my signal, and they're like laughing at me.
Wait a minute.
It's just an automatic,
Sure.
you're going to turn, you put your signal on.
You're
but there's
amazing.
Obviously in a pace car or a race car, there's no
you don't indicate to the guy behind you what you're doing.
Right.
Or the guy in front of you. We had professional drivers. My job was to be a father.
Right.
To Ryan Kier Armstrong. My job was to be a husband to Amanda Seyfried, be a dog owner to our couple Enzos we had. So I'd say not being able to drive was harder than working with the dogs. The dogs were incredible. And early on, I'd said to our trainer, Teresa, I was like, I know that the dogs are going to be trained to go from point A to point B, but I need a scene partner. I need someone that I can look them in the eye and feel what I need to give back. I need a scene partner. So there was a lot of technicality with on set. I was kind of the only one allowed to love and hug and play with the dogs. Aside from the trainers,
right.
Like the crew wasn't allowed to. So I almost feel like it was a bit of trickery where the dogs were like, oh man, there's Milo. I'm going to go hang out with him because I know he's going to scratch me until I fall asleep. But they were really just wonderful. They had different personalities. We had Butler, who was 9. He was rambunctious, but he was supposed to be the older, slower Enzo. And we had Parker, who was 2, who was a lot more soulful. But just it was a very beautiful experience.
But did you want to bring them home with you at the end of the day?
Yeah, Parker, I did. Parker and I, that's my guy. We did.
Because how long was the shoot?
3 months.
Yeah, so that's the dog's gonna get attached to you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get attached to the dog. But Parker already had a mom and a dad, so it was like, I think that'd be kidnapping.
So what'd you like about Denny?
I liked his earnestness. I liked his simplicity. I liked his focus and his drive. I liked that he was a good dad. I liked that he was a good husband. He was not a complicated man.
He liked his cars, his wife, his kid, and his dog.
Yeah, very, very simple. But it was what was put upon him was a great deal of stress. The car, sometimes things with the wife, sometimes things with the kid, things outside of his control or desire. But how he redirected and course corrected, and kind of the idea between, you know, racing in the rain. Right. You know, it's going to be rain. You're going to have horrible weather and circumstances, but you have to have a way to get around it and through it. And it applies to life. And that was the great part about playing Denny, was everything, the stresses and the trials and the tough times and things that came his way. He always found a way to just go through them, you know. And
are you like that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, I got put into honors classes when I was a kid. But when I took the test for these honor classes, the testing organization was like, listen, Milo's not as naturally gifted and smart as the other kids, but he outworks them all. So we want to put him in honors classes because he outworks them all. It may take him 3 or 4 times as long, but he's always going to beat these other kids because he'll work 4 times harder. So I did. I went into honors classes, and I'm like, wait, Mom and Dad, hold on a second. You're telling me you set me up to work 4 times as hard when really I wasn't naturally gifted to be there? And they were like, yeah, but we knew you could do it.
When did they tell you weren't naturally gifted?
I was in 3rd grade. But for me, that was also like, now that I reflect and think back about it, like I bust my ass. Like I may not be the best actor, but I'm always going to work at it because I always want it to be great. It may not be, I don't know, you work at things so much because you desire a positive outcome. And me personally, I always want to impact people positively. And I know I haven't always done that, but I try. So I think, you know, that's what I was trying to do, is just work hard through things.
And this movie is a nice alternative to the big summer blockbusters, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 85-minute in and out, good for the whole family, but it's not animated. It's not a kid's film, but your kids are going to understand it. Like this is the first film that I know like my nieces and nephews are going to be able to go to.
They didn't see you with J-Lo?
They didn't see me with J-Lo. No, they didn't see me with Jennifer. No, they didn't see me in the shower with Jennifer. No, they did not. You know, my god kids, things like that. So, but at the same time, my sisters, my god kids' parents, you know, my best friends, like they're all going to be able to see it and watch it.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful film that was put together by a lot of talented artists.
And tell me about working with Amanda. Did she sing it all for you? She has that voice.
She didn't. I feel like she had a guitar in her trailer, but I never heard it. Amanda is one of the most talented actors I've ever been around.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I believed her performance. She believed her performance. She believed her experiences she was going through were real. And because of that, I was daily just floored by what she was doing.
And no spoiler, but she goes through it.
She goes through it.
Yeah.
But then, at the same time, when cut is called, she's right back into like the dirtiest joke or like the funniest meme or like, oh my God, Milo, did you see this? You're like, who are you? Yeah, she's incredible. She's incredible as a human being, but as an artist, like I really was just watching her, and she believes this experience, this character that she's living, and so the only thing to do is go along with her. And believe as much as she does and give it all back to her.
And it seems like this summer is a summer of, or this year is a year of car movies. So you have this, Ford vs. Ferrari.
Oh yeah, that was great.
I just interviewed Lee Pace, who stars in the DeLorean biopic as John DeLorean. Oh
really? No way.
And there was a DeLorean documentary.
Really?
What is it about racing? Why is that such a great storyline? Why is that so great to be part of a story?
I think it's one of the only places where engineering and real true heart come in to play together, you know, and risk and danger and, you know, life-threatening circumstances for what? For glory, for credibility, for adrenaline, for your loved ones. I think there's something about a car movie that we can all relate to also. You know, whether you're in your car for the enjoyment of being in your car or you're in it for, man, I got to get to work.
Right.
Like, we're all kind of in that world, so we all have this connection. It's like, I don't know. That was a horrible answer, but
it's good. It's a good answer. Not bad. Like you said, you worked through it.
No, this one I was sitting in the audience for. I wasn't standing on the stage. I was sitting in the audience for that one.
I mentioned blockbuster movies. So you have, you know, you're going up against movies like Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of those big franchise superhero things?
I mean, I watched the very last Avengers because, well, it was the very last Avengers. I'm going to go see Hobbs and Shaw because I'm a big Dwayne Johnson fan.
Right.
The competition side of things, I'm like, there's a lot of great movies out there for a lot of different people. Not everybody's going to want to see a movie about a man and his dog. Not everybody's going to want to see a movie about two guys in their cars. Fast cars. It's like there's something for everybody. But I think at the end of the day, when people watch Art of Racing in the Rain, that feels like one of the films that sits with people longer than just the popcorn experience, the bucket of popcorn and the soda that you drink in the theater. It's something that, on a human level, it sits down inside of who you are, who we all are, and then you start thinking about it. And then you start thinking about your own trials and victories in life. And then you start talking about it with your loved ones. And then they start going to see it. So I'm not concerned so much with competition of other films. I just want people to enjoy this. And if you see it and you love it and you're talking about it and that next person you're talking to loves it or goes and sees it and loves it, that's great.
Right.
Like, that's what I know I strive to do as an artist, is like just make an impact with people on an emotional human level, and hopefully, you know, be a part of projects that can do that.
But you're also the voice of Wolverine.
I was. I was one of them. I was one of them.
So you did your time in the superhero world. You want to do more of that? Could you see yourself in one of the big superheroes?
Do I see myself in a cape and a cowl?
Yeah.
Warner Brothers didn't, so. But I don't know.
Tell me about that Warner Brothers experience.
Which Warner Brothers experience?
Well, you said Warner Brothers didn't want to see you in the cape and the cowl.
Oh, they were looking for a new Batman, and they said Ventimiglia, you're too old. And I went, oh, cool.
How old were you at the time?
This is like a few months ago.
What?
Yeah.
This town is ageist.
No, it's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. By the way, I'm kind of busy, so it's okay.
You are kind of busy.
I'm kind of busy. It's okay. And I'm a fan. I've always been a fan of Batman.
Who's your favorite Batman?
You know, oh man, Christian Bale, I think, was a killer Batman. But also, like, I think he was an incredible Bruce Wayne. You know, he was able to play both sides of Bruce Wayne. But like Michael Keaton, and I see the benefits of George Clooney, Val Kilmer, and even Ben Affleck. It's like there's a whole bunch. There's
and Adam West.
And Adam West, way back when. Yeah.
Yeah, the other day I wrote something on Facebook about Batman, and I said something like, watch out Christian Bale. And everyone's like, what about Adam West? He doesn't get
Two different schools of Batman.
Very different
schools of Batman. But no, I don't know. The superhero world, maybe I'm just playing real life superheroes for right now. You know, Jack Pearson, Denny Swift, you know, they're real attainable superheroes that are out there in the open. They're representing good guys and good fathers and things like that.
When was the last time you cried at the movies? And you're not allowed to say your own.
I might have teared up during Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Why is that? And what part?
Because as an actor, you're watching DiCaprio go through it, and you're just like, holy shit, I've kind of maybe been there.
Which scene?
I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
How many trailers have you destroyed?
Huh? Actually, no, I've never destroyed a trailer. I've never destroyed a trailer. I hang my costumes up at the end of the day because you respect your crew. You have to. But
do you go through those feelings of self-doubt?
It's the self-doubt. It's the self-doubt. It's I'm not good enough. Like, what is your problem? Like, you were studying all night, but then you were distracted. Why'd you get distracted? You have one thing to do: show up and perform the task you've been hired to do. And if you can't do that when the camera's rolling, what the fuck are you here for?
So when's the what was the?
Sorry, those are like conversations with myself that I've had with myself.
You know what? Listen. We all have them. I have them all the time. And I've said this a gazillion times on this podcast. I pinch myself every day, and that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
I'm just this poor little Jewish kid from Queens, New York. What am I doing? How did I get here? And I know it's hard work,
And then
but there are days where like all of a sudden you can convince yourself like, wait a minute, I don't deserve to be here. They're going to find out I'm a fraud.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you get through it?
Working harder. Like the morning of the Emmys, I woke up and I was like, you know what, it's not going my way. That's fine. You know what? Just start studying.
Right.
Go back to work.
Right.
So I cracked open my script. I start working. I get up. I take a shower. I kind of look at my watch, and I was like, it's about that time when lead actor's going, and I'm like, it didn't come my way. So I literally hit the books. And then I kind of glanced over, grabbed my phone, and looked. And right when I looked, it was like, boom, there was my name. And I was like, oh wow, okay. And then I put my phone down. I picked my script back up, and I got back to work. For me, it's always the work. It's the preparation. And then once you get on set, it's the actual like real work you're doing with your co-stars and your crews and everything around. And like that's for me the most satisfying place of existence for an actor, is being on that set. And you see it in DiCaprio in that moment when the little girl says, that's the best acting I've ever seen. And he just sits there in it for just that one split second, because he was there from action to cut. And the second it was done, it was like, but it's over. But it happened. But it happened. I'm always striving for that moment where I go, wow, that just happened. That just happened.
We all need the little girl in our ear.
Or somebody, or a director, or a co-star, or you know what? I gotta say it, even ourselves.
Right.
We need ourselves to like pick ourselves up. It's like Snoop Dogg when he got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He's like, I want to thank me for showing up and all this. And like, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
So I just heard your acceptance speech at the Emmys.
What's that?
I want to thank me.
Oh no! Listen, Snoop is in a class of his own. I'm not gonna, dude. Trust me, I'm not gonna thank me, man. I'm not gonna thank me. I'm the last person to get thanked.
What's a movie that you could watch over and over again and never get bored? Like you're just flipping through, whether it's Netflix or an actual TV.
Oh man, I could probably give you like 5 or 6. I mean, when Goodfellas or Godfather are on, it's like you know you're home. When Armageddon is on, you're like, oh God, I'm so excited to be home.
Armageddon, really?
Armageddon, kind of almost any Tom Cruise movie. A lot of Tom Cruise movies. But then even like there's like documentaries that I watch over and over and over again just because they're fascinating. Like this one about Ayrton Senna called Senna. He was a racing driver, Formula One in the 80s, died in '94. But just the human story behind it is amazing. Right. I guess those movies.
What was the first R-rated movie you saw?
American Werewolf in London.
You know right away.
Yeah, I know right away because I know exactly where I was.
I
was on family vacation with my mom and dad and my sisters, and we were at a hotel in San Diego, and mom and dad were in that bed, and it was me and my 2 sisters in this bed over here, and I was little. I might have been like, I don't even know what year the movie came out, but my parents had taken the TV and turned it toward them. But I was on the farthest edge closest to them of the bed, and so I was watching American Werewolf in London like, this is, oh my God. Oh, there's a dead guy. There's a dead guy. I can't see that, but I couldn't stop. Yeah, that was the first R-rated film I'd ever seen.
What was the first audition for a movie you went on, remember?
The first audition I went on for a film was for a movie called Radio Flyer.
Okay.
With Tom Hanks and Elijah Wood. I was 12 years old. And it was an open casting call, and my dad brought me up to LA, and I remember it was at this, it felt like a school playground, but it wasn't. I think it was more a parking lot. And there were 1,500 kids lined up to go in, and we all had numbers and tags and whatnot, and one by one they kind of brought us through, and they'd look at us and start separating us out. And then they narrowed it down to like 7 kids of the 1,200, and I was one of them. I was like, oh, Dad, this is crazy. And that was it. I auditioned. It didn't go my way, but I was...
You were hooked.
It wasn't that I was hooked. I thought, wow, out of a group of 12, 1,500, whatever it was, I'm like, I made it to 7. Huh. And I like doing this. Dad, can I keep doing this? He's like, yeah. You know, and like he and my mom were always super supportive. I would do repertory theater when I was a kid. I'd do plays in high school. When I'd have, another audition when I was 16, an open cattle call that didn't go as great as that one, I still went. So for me, it was like, oh, I like this. Let me see where this goes.
And the first film you booked?
First film I booked. I think I was 21. Oh man, I don't know what the first film I ever booked was.
I never trust IMDb, so I'm never going to trust them. I always have to ask.
No,
because I'll say like, well, it was this, and everyone's like, no, where did you get that?
Film, I can't remember. I remember TV.
You did some fun TV.
Well, but I did like stuff that we all grew up on. It was like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Saved by the Bell, Easy Streets. Like I played a young Ken Olin when I think I was 18 years old.
Really?
Yeah, in a flashback. And Ken Olin, for anybody that doesn't know, he's one of our executive producers and directors of This Is Us.
Right.
Yeah, it's like TV for me was always the staple.
Right.
And I think film was like that far-reaching goal. Like, man, I want to be 40 feet on a movie screen.
Right.
Then you kind of stop looking that far and going, wait a minute, but I'm in 17 million homes every Tuesday or Monday or whatever.
And now it's just merging. I mean, it's like,
yeah.
The big question now is what makes a movie different from a TV show if it's just on a streamer and it's just in a theater for 2 weeks?
Yeah, movies are just shorter. They're.
But are they? Because, you have let's say you have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Sure, 248.
248. Break that down to, that could be almost a 3-episode limited series.
Yeah, but who's making 3 episodes? People are like 6 episodes, 8 episodes.
A Very British Scandal.
There you go.
I got
there
it.
You go. Yeah.
And it'll happen. I mean, look, who was it, Hulu, Netflix? I can't even remember. They're doing 15-minute episodes for shows now.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, someone was talking,
and all that.
Yeah, someone was talking about a movie the other day, and it was really long, and I said, just think of it as binging. Mm-hmm. Like it's not really. We're getting set up to do that.
Yeah.
Do you think movies have to play in a theater to be considered a movie?
I don't. I mean, I watch a lot of movies at home on my TV, on an airplane, on an iPad. It's funny that TV or film has all just become this bigger content.
Yeah, it's content.
It's content. Yeah. It's like what we're taking in, and then that extends to anything on social media that we're pulling in, but I think it's cool and it's fun. Like I still enjoy going to the movies.
Right. Like
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like I was there with my two closest friends and popcorn, and
that's a movie you want to see on the big screen.
Oh yeah, and you want to see it again. Or like I saw Apollo 11, the documentary about the moon landing, Apollo moon landing. I saw that 3 times in the theater.
Wow.
Yeah, once in IMAX and then twice just because I'm like, I gotta see it again. I gotta see it. I have to like reach across the screen to see it.
You don't want to see that on your watch.
But yet I still have watched it sitting on my phone on an airplane because I'm fascinated by it. So I think as wonderful as it is, I just hope movie theaters never go away because it's such a unique experience, and maybe it's nostalgia for me or for us, like, because we grew up going to movies, but also we grew up in the television era, and being at home is pretty great, but also being at home, like, man, you're gonna fall asleep on your couch.
Well, that's the issue too. You fall asleep on your couch.
I don't know. I've fallen asleep in movie theaters too.
I do that too, actually.
Yeah. You know what I like doing? If it's like a movie, then I'm like, okay, I got it. I'll see actors walking into the scene. Then I just close my eyes and listen, and I'll hear the performance. I'll hear it, and then when I hear a scene change, I'm like, who's this one now? Oh, great. And I listen.
Yeah. See, in my job, obviously I have to go to a lot of premieres.
Sure.
I don't want to fall asleep during a premiere. That's rude. So I've perfected the art of, like, I just do not, you know how, like, I don't jerk.
It's like stop motion.
Yeah.
You're watching stop motion then, ultimately.
Yeah. You know, when the snoring happens, that's really, really uncomfortable.
No. Oh, man, Marc.
Don't take me to a movie after 9 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah. Isn't it crazy? Like, I saw Quentin Tarantino's film at 10 in the morning on a Sunday because I'm like, I'm fresh, I'm ready, here I go. I'd already been at the gym in the morning. Yeah, this is great.
You're like, I am not falling asleep during this.
No, and I didn't. I was wrapped.
Awesome, Milo. This is great.
Thanks, Marc.
Congratulations on the Emmy.
Thanks,
congratulations on the movie. We'll see you at the Emmys.
Great. Looking forward to it.
Rehearse your speech. I think your parents will be in there. I think as a
actually, you know what? Mom and Dad are coming with me.
Nice.
Yeah. No, they're coming with. Well, I kind of got tired of them saying no for 2 years, and it happened. I got nominated, and of course, they're one of the first calls, and I call Mom and Dad, and I'm like, hey, and I was just about to say, you're going. You're going this year. I don't care what you say. And my dad goes, oh, hey, so we want to go this year. And I'm like, oh, now's the year, Pop? You're not holding out for the Oscars anymore? These are the TV Oscars, Pop. These are the TV Oscars. So, yeah, so they're going to go with me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Perfect, man.
Awesome.
See you
Thank
then.
you, sir.
Thanks, Marc.